Yeah, I think it's important to find, well, because each platform is so different, anyways. There's so, like, everything's got its own kind of different rules and stuff. Like, for my YouTube channel, I mostly focus on YouTube, but I've done a little bit of X and a little bit of Instagram. But, like, they're just totally different. I do a little TikTok, but then I'm like, I just kind of take the things that I'm already doing for YouTube and put them on those other platforms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's like I tried to do the Instagram thing for a while, like really do the and I'm like, I don't, yeah, you know. So
Yeah, I'm still figuring that one out.
yeah, what I've found it most useful for, and you maybe can speak to this a little bit, is just connecting with people. So like I've met like all the people that I've interviewed on the show. I just reached out through social media. So have you seen, since you've been doing the Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, like what has it been like, I guess, networking with all of those people?
I think it blinked out for a second, but you said that you had gotten a lot of views just out of meeting and connecting with people on Instagram, right? And
Yeah.
people you're interviewing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Have you been easily able to get into kind of the group, I suppose, of I've found everyone to on the author space to be very helpful and very like welcoming.
I'm starting to. So I think my first like dip in the pool was Beard of Darkness. Matt
Mm-hmm.
just Twitter messaged me or emailed me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, He's like, I came across your book. He's like, it sounds awesome. He's like, I'd love to review it. He's like, I want to get in on this. He's like, I have a good feeling about what you're doing. And then he recommended me to a couple other blogs. Before we go, Fanfi Addict and Grimdark Magazine. So he put me in contact with those guys. And then off the back of that, I just at that point kind of got exposed to like other reviewers and people who do interviews and stuff in the space, and then started, in some cases to reach out myself. And that was around the time when I started to get on Instagram and kind of poke around, and like once you follow a few people who are like really in the space, then it's a good suggestion of who else to follow, which I think is how I found you.
Mm-hmm.
After following, like Matt and like Bearded Book Beastie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got in touch earlier this week actually, and I think we're gonna plans to appear on his channel once we connect schedules. But yeah, and I'm honestly like I'm really surprised by just how, like you said, just how like friendly and welcoming everyone is. Like no one knows who I am. Like I'm a debut author, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have not had a huge presence or anything, especially on Instagram. So it's pretty humbling just to be able to connect with people and for them to want to give you their time just to talk about what you've been working on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always I haven't really seen in my own writing, but I've done a lot of creative things. Like I've been a musician for a long time and that kind of stuff. So
What do you
it's
play?
always I play a couple of things, but I suppose my main thing would be bass and drums. So
Okay,
I was a jazz bass performance major, which is completely useless anywhere. But
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 it's fun.
I was fun and I learned how to play. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I grew up drumming, so I understand. I understand. It's fun just to play, even if you don't really do anything besides just play for enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that was like that whole being creative, putting your like I'm kind of callous to it now, but like when you first put out your writing and stuff or anything creative, you feel like everyone's going to just be super mean. Like
Yeah,
everyone is going to be terrible, everyone's going to be horrible and like trash it. And most like 99% of people are like totally supportive and cool. So, you know, it's kind of a weird mental game to get over.
yeah. And the funny thing too is, so I started doing editorials, which have to go out like 6 months in advance. So I was getting
Hmm.
like professional, reviews like before I got any like ARC readers, and
Hmm.
and it was like extremely positive. But like the first like 5 star or two that I got, I was like, oh my god, this is actually good. Like sweet. But I
Yeah.
was really nervous, and then you kind of settle like it kind of settled in that I was like, okay, like I worked really hard on this book for about 2 years. Like I know that at the very least like pretty decent. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that initial nervousness was a little bit of a hurdle.